Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing in front of you is a car that will be turned invisible in BeamNG.drive. This is possible to make any vehicle, modded or unmodded, to be completely invisible while keeping the JBeam structure and engine performance. I'll explain how to do that later on in the video. So the building of this car here, we got a basic 90s sports car type of body. So for the panel material, let's start things off with the panel material of an aluminum with a monocoque chassis made out of AHS steel. For the engine placement, we're going to Corvette it and just do a front launch neutral engine placement with the front suspension of a double wishbone, and the rear suspension will be made of a multi-link suspension setup. Jumping on into the engine of this vehicle, let's change things up. Instead of doing the old inline V engines, let's do a Boxer 6 engine with the block material made out of cast iron. For the bore and stroke, I'm going to set this up to make like a 3.6 liter engine, so a 93 in the bore and an 85 on the stroke. So 93 millimeters in the bore, 85 in the stroke, which gets the engine size to 3,464 cubic centimeters, or around 3.5 liters, with a dual overhead cam 4 valve made of aluminum, pretty much like a majority of engines that are made nowadays. So for the balance shaft, we're going to be having a harmonic damper to improve the reliability of the crankshaft, make everything pretty much forged of everything. So forged steel crankshaft, heavy duty forged cowl rods, and regular forged pistons. For the compression, let's do around like a 10.0 roughly with a cam profile. Probably keep it as is, springs and lifters up a little bit. And VVT, make things a little bit more cheaper yet fuel efficient. VVT for the intake only. And this will be naturally aspirated. So for the engine, do a multi-point EFI of a single throttle configuration with a standard mid-intake. Keep it as is to a regular fuel type. And the fuel efficiency, the fuel mixture, drop this all the way down to a 15.0. We're going to make this powerful yet fuel efficient, like a wannabe Honda or something. Ignition timing, 55. And the RPM limit, rev this up to a 7,000 RPM. Last but not least, headers and everything. So tubular headers with a dual exhaust. The exhaust diameter, keep it as is. And for high flow through credit converter, reverse muffler, none for the second. So right now, 260.2 horsepower at 6,400 RPM. The torque kinda high at 243.5 pounds-feet of torque at 5,000 RPM. And I forgot, it's actually a 10.1 to 1. There we go. The 261, 244.4. That's a little better. And real briefly, let's get a hear of what this Boxer 6 engine sounds like. And second of all, it's not turbocharged, and it doesn't really have VTEC. So give you a hear right now. Not too bad of a Boxer 6 engine. Very powerful, but doesn't sound that bad. So for the drivetrain, we're not going to do any fixture customizations because I already got one for the thumbnail, which I'll show you later on in the video. But for this creation, we're going to ignore customizing anything. So no headlights, none of this whatsoever. So for the drivetrain of the vehicle, rear drive, sequential 6-speed with the top speed set. It's going to go pretty high of 182 miles an hour. And differentials, why not put a viscous LSD to cut down a little bit of the wheel spin in this vehicle. And for Mr. Tires, so get some sport compounds on, max the rear tire width, and lower this bad boy down. I think 235 was good enough, or 245. I think it was 235, I believe. So alloy rims, keep on going. For the brakes, vented disc 3 pistons around 315 millimeters. Same thing for the rear of a 1 piston around 3, I think it was like, hold on. I think 345s in the front, 300s in the back, jump up the pad type a little bit, and rest of the vehicle fully clad under tray. Bump up the brake airflow just a bit, keep the cooling airflow as is. And for the interior, of course, no interior whatsoever. We're not going to put one in here because, well, it's going to be invisible, so everything has to be deleted. So pretend we do got one, 2 seats, 2 real full-size seats, and basic ones at the back, with a sport interior and a premium CD player. Really get the most out of this vehicle. Power steering, variable hydraulic with a touch control ABS and standard issue 1990s standard safety standards. And lastly, for the suspension, do some progressive springs with some adaptive dampers, semi-active sway bars running on a sport preset. And we got some oversteering. Either did something wrong or what. Alright, just cut down the oversteering issue. All it had to do was increase the tire diameter from 600, I believe, millimeters to a 625 front and back. And now we're pretty much right on the line from the oversteering line, which is this red boy on the top. we got some good cornering Gs of 1.16 Gs, not too bad. And instead of going with the fixtures, let's really get to work with the paint of this vehicle. So if you go to the paint section right here, assuming if you're in the open beta version of the game, or version 4.2.10 right now. So you go to paint, click on the all body panels, which gets you to the paint selector screen. Then you hit the plus button for a new paint, and then you scroll up till you see the transparent option, and here we got a good chunk of the paint removed, and we get the car mostly exposed, and whoops. So we got most of this done here, so do the same thing for the glass, the semi-transparent glass. So Mr. Glass, let's turn off the transparency and watch this go away right now. Boom, glass is gone. Next for the roof, Mr. Roof, get out of here. The running gear, which I believe is a transmission if I'm right or wrong. So zoom into transmission, running gear. Yeah, that was a transmission. Now do the same thing for the trim panels, that's gone, and for the underbody, which is a big plus for this new update, you can actually get rid of the underbody, so you can do some like easy 3D fixtures to like create like a kit car or something. Now going to the wheels section, same thing, all wheels, transparent these guys. Now we got a hollow ass tire, like it's not on a rim. And then you hide the brake calipers with the transparency paint, including the tire tread, and now we got no tires other than the chassis. To hide the chassis and the engine, you click on the fixtures button and this little cog gear that says advanced trim settings. Then you would hide the engine to enable to hide the engine and the chassis, which it will show parts of the exhaust, some other stuff, the suspension, and the brakes again. You would have to go back to the paint setting and go to wheels and hide the brake caliper again. And then, oh boy, now we really hid everything now, just about everything. So before we export, the only problems we got with this vehicle are hard dampers, rear tires being wide, low profile, and some clearance issues to the side of the engine. Let's export this vehicle to BeamNG.drive, and I will show you how to actually get rid of everything to make this car 100% invisible. So we're going to export this as is with TRIZE Model 7, Trim 7, and we're done. So we go to BeamNG.drive and unpack the folder, go to Blender, and drive the car. So here I am on the main menu of BeamNG.drive. So to get into the mods folder, you click on the repository right here, and then on the top left portion of your screen, you click on Mods Manager to see all the mods that you downloaded. So with the model you just exported, which in this case is by TRIZE Model 7, Trim 7, you click on here, and why does it say invalid date? Did I break it? Well, for some odd reason, we got the mod to either activate or pack. So once I clicked on pack, I do get the folder right here, which I'll show you in just a second. So if you click on Open Explorer, you will get the folder as so, which is right here of TRIZE Model 7 Trim 7. So if I go into Blender here, which I believe it is showing just as fine as I'm recording this as of right now. So once you open up Blender, just delete this cube here, delete this bad boy, and go to the file in the top left portion of your screen and hit import. And then you click on Kaleida default.dae, the DAE file, and then hunt down for your mods folder, which I'll copy and paste it right here. So if I go to Unpacked and go to the address bar of the File Explorer, you click on it and then hit Control-C to copy the address link of the folder location. Going into Blender, same thing, click on the address bar of Blender's File Explorer path file, and then highlight everything you see here, highlight everything, and hit Control-V to paste the link. Once you do that, hit enter, and find the vehicle that you just exported, which is again, Model 7 Trim 7. Double click here, go to Vehicles, go to the model name again, and then right here, the only file, Model 7 Trim 7.dae. Double click on here, and we got these little guys right here, which we can delete these. So with these guys here, you just click here, right click, and then click on delete. That guy is gone. The wheel, click, right click, delete. The other wheel, click, right click, delete. Now we got a completely blank plane right here, which is basically just nothing. To export the file, go to top left to File, Export, and hit Kaleida DAE again, and then paste the link that you just copied from earlier, and export the file again from the Model 7 Trim 7, Vehicles, model name, and then click the DAE file and hit Export Kaleida. Or Kaleida, whatever. Which that should, if I go to the folder here, it should say, yes, 5 kilobytes. It was around like 3.5 megabytes, but we really trimmed things down quite a bit. And it's also been updated at this time right now of 10:26 p.m. and this should work in BeamNG. So let me go to grid swap here, load up the game, load up the map, do everything, and load the car in, which it should make the car invisible. And let's see, here's the thumbnail. We got these dots right here. Double click to spawn in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, 100% invisible. Now, if you could control B to bring up the JBeam structure, we got the JBeam structure of that same sports car. And of course, if I rev it, the engine still works. And if I drive, she drives. And of course, it's kind of laggy because I still got automation open, which I'll close that in just a second. 0 to 62 in 5.51 seconds or 279.72 feet, or 42 feet, god dang it. So yeah, it does drive just as fine, brakes just as fine. So let me go to a map here and take a drive with this vehicle. So what I'm about to do is do a time trial run at West Coast, USA with the highway endurance layout with this here invisible vehicle called Model 7 Trim 7. And we're going to be doing 2 laps of this race into noon hours. So with the first lap, I'm going to do one with the JBeam exposed and the second lap without the JBeam exposed, to see if I could get a feel of what the car is like being completely invisible and knowing pretty much everything about the car if the car were to quote-unquote exist. So right now, bring back the UI, take it to the starting line of the highway right now. So here we are at the start and finish line in our kind of grand fashion here. So we're just a bit behind the little checker flag stripe right here, but it's almost lined up to the front bumper, the JBeam structure. And second of all, we got a grand fashion of these lights. I'm not ready yet. Not these lights, but these flags right here. That's kind of cool. So get ready to start this here time trial with the JBeam structure on to get a feel of this vehicle. So get ready to start here. 3, 2, 1, launch it, go. Poor launch thanks to the ECS, well, preferably traction control. And a better 0 to 62 in 5.48 seconds of 284.46 feet. Not too bad. So performance-wise, going 115, gotta brake. Gotta go brake. Wow, off to a great start. We got a tire popped. And you can see here well, I should restart. The suspension was completely messed up. Alright, got through that, no problem. Back on the wide open spaces of the highway. So our first split time, a 32 seconds, 255 milliseconds. Not too bad. I've never done the highway time trial, and I gotta get off this exit. It's gonna be brutal. Brakes. Alright, so we keep going straight into this left-hand corner. And I noticed about this car, it kind of understeers a little bit. I think I should put like 245s up front or do some better suspension tuning to get a balance between shimmy sham god. Missed a checkpoint. I would say have a fine balance, a fine line between oversteering and understeering at medium-high speeds. And we're auto-steering hard to the left after that hit. Really, for a curb check? Well, no thermal damage. Let's just keep on going and just suck it up. What to say earlier, I've never done this here time trial in my life. The highway frickin' run like this bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come on you? Okay, that's gross. Okay, we got some straightaway. Let me say this loud and clear, finally. I never done this. I don't know what it's like, and I don't know how long this will take me. I think a lap per lap, like 4 minutes, I assume? 420? So to this tunnel, I'm not going to really risk it for the biscuit. 166 is our best speed we got according to the speedometer. Really brake. Oh, whoa. So the brake, that is some horrible understeer. I think it has to do with the tires and everything, and a little bit of a catalyst is me curb checking and slamming the sides of the walls. You see how I braked? Yeah, it's now steering to the left as I brake hard, which is not that great. So after that hit earlier, I did kind of notice that we're not swaying left and right as much. Well, I think it was auto-steering to the right, so we're auto-steering to the right a little bit, but not as bad as we were last time. Oh no. Whoa, that car just shifted so hard they about crashed in these pillars right here holding up this tunnel. Well, curb check, curb check. Whoa! God damn it. God. We gotta start over again. I'm upside down. Well, do this again. Take it apart where I crash out. Okay, here's the part where I screwed up. Slow down. And slow down again. Watch my tires. Watch that curb. Watch those rocks. And that curb again. Almost swerved into it. And back on the highway we go. I don't know where the first lap marker is at. We still got some oranges, which means those are checkpoints. The blue should be... No, the green should be the next lap, and the blue is the finish, which is basically the start and finish line. So, what do we got here? Tunnel, into brake, 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 brake. minor fading going on in the front, so we gotta watch out for our brakes in the near future as I begin to hide the vehicle and do the guessing game. Which even to further challenge myself on top of hiding the JBeam structure, I think I'm gonna hide the UI in general, so I'm gonna be going on 100% blind run. No vehicle, no HUD, which will guide me throughout the rest of this time trial. That will be a real challenger, folks. What type of challenge should this be called? The Invisible Driver Challenge? But it's on TikTok, get like a massive following or something. What's your top of TikTok? Have you heard that frickin' ByteDance is now owned by a stake of the Chinese CCP at first lap? So, hide here, go Control B all the way, and go to Off, Alt U, hide the UI, blind run, here we go. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is more complicated than I thought. I think I got the hang of this. No? Okay, we're off the wall. Okay, folks, just hear me out on this one. Will I make it or no? Let me know down below. I think I brake here. I should have braked earlier. Fair enough. Seems legit. Left corner. Under steering as we go. I felt like I was going right towards the side of the guardrail. Just keep your head in. Alright, in this corner. Brake again. Hard on the brakes. Imagine not knowing the speed and capability of this car, and you just go smashing into that guardrail. So throughout this lap here, I'm not gonna unhide the UI to check my speed. I'm just gonna go as is, no matter what. So just do it as is, keep the UI hidden, no matter what. No matter if I check the damage, the speed, the brakes, my time, none of that whatsoever. So brakes. Hard, minor fading as I can barely hear it on my headphones. Probably around 700, 800 degrees of my guess, which the initial signs of the fading earlier was like 750 on the front brakes, which were the early signs of fading, but it didn't like 100% fade out on me, fortunately. So for the brakes, there shouldn't be any more like hardcore fading throughout the rest of this time trial, hopefully. As long as I don't go any like treacherous hardcore braking, long-term hardcore braking as I just like use the drag to slow me down or just pump on the brakes to reduce the chances of fading. Because if your brakes are faded, then they're kind of useless. I mean, they'll be useful for a minute, and then once they're cooked, you can't stop. Alright, through this winding ass sweeping bend here, more than under the steer, and what's even more on top of this as I'm driving this, I'm doing this all on a controller. Not a wheel, not a keyboard, a controller. Well, it's better than a controller and a little bit more inferior than a wheel, which hopefully, if I can get my hands to the wheel, if I get more room for this desk, because I kind of look at it, since I got a pull-out keyboard, I can either put my keyboard on the floor or wherever I could put some room in my desk to actually put my damn keyboard like on top or somewhere's off to the side and get the wheel going where my keyboard is at. So I probably have to have plans to get a new desk, which, well, with my desk, I'm kind of... Batman! What happened? Alright, what happened? A tire's missing. Where are we at? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Wheel is broken. Oh wow, we terminally messed this vehicle up. So you can see the tire, it is on the ground after that brutal hit, so we can't see the real extent, but you can see the extent of JBeam structure. It's messed up. So hide the UI, hide the JBeam, keep going, keep going. I think we're good. We're hitting the wall. Hitting the wall? Sheesh, I don't know if I can complete this now. We got the car terminally damaged. So survived 2.5 minutes of blind driving until we went too fast and smacked into that bridge pillar, that off-centered bridge pillar. Well, it was already like off-center, but it was hella thick. That's what he said. And not only that, we're going fast with a broken-ass wheel, so you should probably make it as long as I don't make involuntary movements. Hit again. Where are we at? Might as well cycle the JBeam like on and off to get used to where I'm going rather than going like, oh, hit the wall, oh, hit the wall, oh, hit the wall. And all of a sudden, I can't steer, making this rest of the time trial like useless. Going pretty fast here. What is this, like 60 miles an hour or something? 70? Not too bad. Hit the wall again. And in the tunnel, got some exposed pillars of community. As long as we don't hit the pillars of community, we'll be okay. Alright, final straightaway. We made it. We freaking made it. Second lap time of a 6 minutes 12 seconds? Yeah, 6 minutes 12. No, 8 minutes 41 seconds. 135 milliseconds of a total time 14 minutes 52 seconds 582 milliseconds. Free roam. Well, we have nowheres to crash this out to. So what's a JBeam like? Hella messed up. Well, that's how I can show you the vehicle. That's it. And second of all, I killed the engine. Really? I killed the engine for how? So for the final part of the video, let's go over to Leap of Death to see if this blind vehicle, invisible vehicle, will perish at this place. So take it there right now. So here we are at the top of the ramp here. So get ready to skateboard ourselves down at the top of this invisible car right now and see if we can get this guy. Shift please. Get this guy all the way down and freaking launch this bad boy hundreds of feet in the air and pretty much out and about and upshift? Why you no upshift? Well, we're gonna over risk again. Wait for the engine to blow up. Around 230. Come on into 240. 240 GT speeds of 250. Valve train damage, engine torque reduced. Around 250 around the bottom. 190 is our exit speed, and around 200 miles an hour was where the engine exploded. And for the car, oh boy, let's just do the JBeam on. Let's see. Gonna slow this down, not considerably, but at a fair amount to see how the JBeam works out and everything. So 6 times slow-mo, everything as is. Boom. That's how the JBeam looks like. That is pretty interesting. So full time. Flip it around as so. Can we land upside down? 4 wheels. Well, technically 2 wheels, as that wheel's gone, and that wheel is like miles away. So, unfortunately, didn't land upright, so that will be the vehicle right there as the tire goes spinny bitty big diddy, and that tire, same thing, spinny big diddy, let's go get the hell out of here, big diddy. So for the final part of the video, skateboard ourselves at the top of the hill here and get ourselves all the way down and crash yourselves at a little wedge thingy, which is basically a square block where you can get yourselves wedged while crashing at it at a very high speed. And still stubborn, upshift again. Why you no upshift for the second time? It was like stuck at 5th gear, I had to manually upshift to 6th gear, over risk. Well, just like before. And get ready to stop now. 264 miles an hour, and right when I hit pause, did the engine brake, or was that me? Well, I don't know. Let's get the weird camera angle going. Hide the UI, slow this thing all the way down, 100 times slow-mo. Let's see. Here's the vehicle, here's the wall, and boom, look at all those polygons, everything just smooshed together. How about the rear wheels? They just spin. That turns into a pointy-ass vertex like it's a cone or something, so full-time. Ear rape. Well, kids, since we can't go over the quote-unquote damage of the vehicle, like if it's the body's painted like a regular car or something, well, here's the destruction of the vehicle. We pretty much turn this into like a freaking wedge car. We got the wedge shape look of the vehicle, comes up right here, then down, you got the wheels as so, and that's all I can pretty much explain this vehicle, I'm guessing. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the freaking invisible car you see on the left. Well, on the right is the one for the thumbnail, which it is basically got like a basic model going with the mirrors, headlights, the side vents, indicators, and the reflector right here, and the exhaust tips, including the wing here too. So half-ass design of designing the vehicle right here, but for the invisible car, I would say it is indeed possible to make an invisible car from hiding everything, making everything transparent, and doing some very quick work in Blender. You can make a full-blown invisible car that keeps the tires, the engine performance, and the JBeam structure of the vehicle to pretty much behave like this guy right here, with the entire structure of the vehicle, some of the fixtures, and all that good stuff. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future, and also check out my social media down in the description below. So this is TRIZE Rising Up, and signing out.